Loose change for getting down. It's Friday and I'm on fire, and I know that I'll break your heart, and I'm sorry, I'm just so tired. 'Cause these cars are just it, so won't you cuff my hands? And this world is all mine, so won't you crash my ride?
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Stories Worth Telling with Patric Massey today. I don't know why I'm gone. Looks like do I have a black screen on your screen too?
Yeah, it's black.
Okay, one second.
No problem.
Every time I play that video, something's happening. So, you know what? We may just go to a full screen on you then, man.
Hey, that's all right.
So, all right. Well, nonetheless, we're gonna do this. Man, I'm excited to have you here today. Thank you so much for your time.
Oh, no, thanks for having me. I'm excited as well.
Yeah, and so, your story is definitely unique from the aspect that you have a really unique daytime job, right? And then the stuff that you do in terms of how talented you are behind scenes, on the evening side. So, why don't you just kind of dive right in and kind of tell us about who you are and what you do?
All right. Well, yeah, for starters, Patric Massey, originally from Arizona, currently residing in Colorado. Just had a hard upbringing, just very hard-headed, very just thought I knew the whole world and how it was supposed to be ran. Long story short, became homeless for about 6-7 months. Then I decided to find my way back home to Arizona. Got back into school after working dead-end job after dead-end job, paycheck to paycheck. Just was not doing what I like to do, which is basketball, and then also work with computer arts. So finally went back to school, went to Phoenix College, finished out there with a certificate of completion for graphic design and visual effects. Transferred to Columbia College, which was a 4-year school, where I finished out there with a BA in general studies and a minor in graphic design. And then shortly after that, was finally getting to play basketball. Went and played over in Australia, went and played over in Mexico. Wasn't really for me. I didn't feel like that was what I was out there meant to do. And tried out for this team called the Harlem Ambassadors, which was a show basketball team. We traveled all over the United States, performing in front of people, going to schools and talking to kids. And it hit me that that's what my calling was, because, I went through so much hardship with schooling and being homeless and struggling to survive and trying to find my way out of that. So being able to have that platform and that ability to go talk to kids about my story, I think is what I was meant to do, and did that for about 2.5 years. And then now I started for the Harlem Wizards, which is the second oldest professional show basketball team underneath the Globetrotters. Been with them for about 4 years now. Love it. Get to do what I love to do, which is basketball, talk to kids, motivational speaking, and just being my funny, goofy self on the court. But the benefit of going back to school was getting that degree and able to jumpstart what I love to do, which is computer arts and computer graphics. And that's when I started my company called Hype Designs LLC, and been doing it for the past 12 years now.
That's awesome, man. So a lot of people, maybe they don't understand what the show basketball thing, but if you're a basketball fan, it's been around for a very long time. I was a huge fan growing up as a child, watching the Globetrotters,
Right.
as
Me
a teenager, got into the and one scene,
Yeah.
being able to watch those guys, some of my favorite guys. Part of it was the showmanship for sure.
Yeah. Yes.
Part of it for the and one was just, it was so ridiculous that you could embarrass people doing what you do, and it was so entertaining. You know, guys like Hot Sauce, the professor now is still, I still watch his videos, and he's still doing his thing. So
Yeah.
tell us a little bit more about like what got you into this showmanship basketball.
Just kind of the same thing. Like, I mean, everybody grew up watching the Globetrotters, and and just seeing them, how they dribbled the ball around people, and the basketball tricks would spin the ball on the finger and doing other stuff. And I was like, man, like that's awesome. Like I want to do that. So as I was young, I was spinning, getting the ball, spinning it, and trying to do it. Just kept working on and working on it. My mom, she hated when I did it because I know I broke a few lamps and whatever that that was in my path. But no, I just kept doing it as I was growing up and just kept getting better and better and better. And lo and behold, like just growing up, just loving that side of it. Got me the job that I didn't think I was ever going to be able to do. I tried out for the Globetrotters and it didn't work out too well. And, that's what I did with the Ambassadors and, now with the Wizards. But it's just, yeah, like this the showmanship. Like I said, like I love people. I love entertaining people. I love just being able to, somebody just has a bad day. They're like, hey, let's go watch the Wizards. And I'm there to put a smile on their face and make the kids feel great. And it's like a once in a lifetime thing that these kids might get. And the benefit with us as the Wizards is we get in the crowd, we sign every autograph. We'll stay there all night till every kid gets an autograph or whoever wants autograph or picture. With the Globetrotters, you have a certain amount of time. And if you're all the way at the top, if you don't get down to the floor at that certain amount of time, they're done signing autographs after that. So like I just love like the Harlem Wizards, how we're just more personal and how we're just more entertained. I feel like more entertained because we're just in the crowd more. We're playing different people every night. The Trotters, they play the Generals every single day, and it's always the same routine over and over again. With us, we play different people every night, so it's like you never know what's going to happen, which makes it just that much more fun.
Absolutely, man. That's awesome. And my first introduction to really you and what you do obviously came from Brittany, and big shout out to Decadent, Colorado Springs. And then when she had told me when COVID happened, how you guys were still doing the lives, just to entertain the kids and stuff like that, man, I really loved your guys' heart and your passion for what you guys do. And, again, it was still about entertaining the kids and the fans and all that stuff and finding creative ways to do that. So I really appreciate what you guys do, but also the amount of talent that it has to be able to choreograph some of that stuff, I imagine, is pretty tough, huh?
Yeah. It's like we'll have the crazy thing is like we'll have a pre-training camp which lasts about a week, and that's just us like stretching, getting back in the basketball form. We play each other. It's a lot. It's really competitive, like because we got dudes on the team. We're not just entertainers. We all played college ball. We played some type of professional basketball overseas. So it's a very competitive, first week, and it's fast paced, which is great. And then we go to our regular training camp, which we do upstate New York, and in this resort, and we get our pictures taken. But then we focus more on the show and like what we're wanting to do. And it's a lot of like just getting the choreographic stuff right as far as like how our weaves and stuff go. But it's, once we get through that, after that week of training camp, a lot of the guys are already shipped out to the road. Most of us go back to the team house, and we barely find time to train after that as far as like keeping it going. So a lot of the stuff is improv. Like we have structure of the show, how we want to do, but a lot of it's improv because things change. We might find something different that's funny, or something, happens as far as a current event that we're like, yo, we got to put this in the show because it's, it's going to be hilarious. So like we have that 1 week of like coming up with a show, and after that, it's kind of just, if we can get through it, good. If not, we're just going to improv all the way through and you won't even know it.
That's pretty cool, man. I always wondered kind of like, because there's so many different elements, and obviously, things like alley-oops are a lot of fun, but when you're like throwing the ball off somebody's face, maybe juggling behind them or dribbling between their legs. You know, that showmanship piece that comes with the basketball stuff.
Yeah,
But being able to do that on an improv level is pretty incredible. So thank you,
yeah,
man, for some insight on that.
no problem.
Guys, if you are watching, just type in hashtag live to let us know if you're catching this on the replay, hashtag replay. Again, we're having some technical difficulties on my side, but probably better for you and better on my ego that I'm not side by side with this Patrick here. So, but let's talk about this next piece, man. And this is
Yeah,
honestly incredible. I'm thankful for being able to just kind of see, you know, what you do firsthand. So we actually had Patrick kind of look at possibly doing some logos for us for a second entity that Scott Brandt and I have been working on. So shout out to Scott Brandt as well.
yeah, I saw him in here.
Yeah. But yeah, let's talk about hype designs. Like, what got you into this aspect, man? Because it's you know, people look at a basketball player, they don't really see, or they wouldn't necessarily think of, um, you know, graphic design.
Right. So what got me into it was like, well, it was my middle, or not my middle school, my high school art teacher. She saw like how much passion I had for art and for drawing, and she asked me, it was like, have you ever thought about, um, doing anything with like computer art? And I was like, well, no. And she's like, well, just try it out. Like, she put me on a computer and went on Microsoft Paint. Anybody familiar with Microsoft Paint, it is hard to do any type of artwork
Yeah.
on that. So I was like, well, let me just try it. So I get the mouse and, just doing some art. And it actually turned out, like she was impressed. Like she didn't even know like the different things I was figuring out how to do with it. And she's like, I want you to get set up at this vocational school outside of high school. So it was a graphic design after school program. So like once I got done at 3, I took a bus, or when I started driving, drove all the way to this, this other school to learn graphic design. So I was there till like 5. And, just seeing like working with Photoshop and all the different things I can do, I started enjoying it with Illustrator. And then I was like, I really like this. So now we'll go home and try to implement it on the computer that I had. And then just started I used to watch Dragon Ball Z, and I would record Dragon Ball Z episodes on VHS, so, back in the day, so record on VHS, and then I would cut it up I would have 2 VCRs recording and cutting up, whatever. And then I would get a CD and play music as I was playing the cut up version on the TV as like a music video. And then I started learning I could do this on the computer. So then that started with like this video editing and, stuff like that. And then I was like, man, I just love this. This is awesome. And then started doing, photo editing, and started like seeing my progression and get better. And people were like, man, this is awesome. You do great work, blah, blah, blah. And I kept doing it, and I started doing it for college. At Columbia College, they had me create like a whole intro video for how we got introduced into the game. I did like, we had a jumbotron where they would put the names up on the bottom, and I created that for them, and I started working with them, and I still work for Columbia College doing some stuff for them. During this pandemic, I just made like this whole mural that they had put up in the men's locker room and the women's locker room. But just starting out, like just loving art and just like the things that I can do with on a computer, and just bringing people's visions, to life. I mean, that's at least my try to do, is take what they're visioning and put it to, bring it to life. And if I can capture that, again, it's just that feeling that I have of being able to please somebody, entertain, make them happy, put a smile on their face. I feel like I can do that as a graphic designer because, as far as like, businesses and, stuff goes, like with branding, with their logos, being able to see like their own logo get created, or, somebody's like, hey, can you take this picture of me and turn me into a mermaid? Absolutely. And then being able to do that and say, man, wow, this is awesome. So bringing their fantasies to life too, it just makes me feel good. And like I said, like, being able to, go from where I was in the past to, now, I feel like I went through everything that I went through because of what I'm doing now, as far as like entertaining people, making them feel good, and then also giving them stuff that they want as well.
Absolutely, man. I love that. And I relate on so many levels. I remember doing the double VCR thing, right, to record stuff because so part of my background is I used to play video games semi-professionally.
Yeah.
And so we'd go to these tournaments, and then I remember when I was actually there's a particular game one of the things that kind of I guess is still pretty prevalent today is like these combo videos for these games, and so I would kind of do a showcase and stuff like that. So I remember I had to like record, stop, go back, play back, and then record it onto the next one so that way I could stop and edit it, and then being able to again translate that and have somebody translate that onto a CD and then eventually upload it. So definitely relatable. Kind of takes me back to like when I used to record like CDs onto tapes and stuff like that too. So that's cool, man. I'd love to understand like what got you to where you're at. This may be somebody you know.
Yes, that is my mother.
That's awesome. I love to see family support.
Yeah,
and Scott had two great things to say here. He says, so just as life, where change is the only constant, consistent in life for sure. And then this one here, he says, maybe some potential business ideas with you for creating a creative design course.
Possibly, yeah. That'd be definitely. Well, I know, like, so what I need to. I've done it in the past, but like just with COVID happening and just being like more busy with I'm actually working at Decadent now, so
nice.
so helping Brittany out with that. I just haven't had time to be in front of my computer anymore. But on my YouTube, I do go live and do actual like photo editing tutorials live. So like, if there's anybody watching, go to my YouTube and search Hype Designs LLC. You can't miss a big old HD logo. But I do like live edits and stuff there, like do 3 or 4 different photos. I interact with people, answer questions of how I did this or how I did that. So I definitely need to get back into doing that some more. So yeah, that's definitely a good idea. I mean, like I said, just trying to find the time to be able to sit in front of a computer and do that. But yes, I will definitely look forward more into that.
Perfect. And if you need help with putting the course together and formatting all that stuff, that's kind of where we come into play and all that stuff. So, but yeah, let's just get into this. Let's showcase people the Hype Designs. All right. And then just kind of navigate me, walk me through anything. So we'll kind of just start here on the homepage. And for maybe people who don't understand what a vector file is, can you tell us a little bit about that?
So yeah, so a vector. So there's different types of files. So vector illustration is pretty much it's an illustration to where like it doesn't pixelate as you expand. So it's not like a set in stone image. So like if you were to take one of the 4 pictures they have there and you were to blow it up to the size of the Empire State Building, it won't be pixelated. So a vector illustration calculates each pixel as you expand to keep it smooth. As far as like a regular image, once it's set and once it has its DPI, which is depth pixel depth forgot anyway. Your pixel amount count. Okay. Once you have that set and you expand it, it's going to get pixelated the more that you expand. So a lot of people, when they're doing illustrations or doing logos, they use it in vectors so that you can always expand, decrease without losing its resolution.
I see. Very cool, man. Again, I didn't know that. So I'm sure hopefully somebody else that's watching it probably didn't know that. Maybe some of you artists who are tuning in definitely do. I love this, man. This is clean right here.
Yeah. So that's actually one of my good friends. His name is Zach Andrews. Some of you guys might know, you might not know. He actually did play for a few teams in the NBA, the Lakers being one of them. Then he's played overseas, and now he's just doing stunt stuff for Hollywood and just doing a bunch of other stuff. He also still plays basketball. There's a league out in Arizona right now called the Be Legendary League, and he's playing in that. And I've been working with the Be Legendary League, just pulling out new photos and, just giving some artwork and making people feel good about themselves out there. So,
Yeah, so one of the games that I used to play for a long time was Madden.
right.
And one of the things I remember, we had these guys, and this was pretty much like in the early 2000s, so it was before Photoshop was like truly prevalent like it is today. But I remember these guys used to make a killing, basically making custom cover photos every single year.
Right.
And so these guys would want their favorite character or player rather, or maybe the team that they wanted on there, and then these guys would pay like $50 for a cover.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
I did that too. Like back in the day, I used to always create new Xbox covers or PlayStation covers for people. And yeah, back then I was only asking like $10, $20, but before you knew it, I had like 5 or 6 people, and that's, $120 in my pocket right there.
Right. Yeah. So just looking at this type of picture kind of takes me back to some of that. Is there other places I can click here
this
on?
right here that says vector illustration photo, that's actually like just a quick video of like just a little bit of what I do. It's kind of like an introduction to hype designs.
Oh, okay. Let's check it out.
Yeah, so it just shows like what like the products and stuff that I use, and just kind of shows just a little brief thing.
Sure. This is great, man. It's like a digital business card.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, too, that Reggie Miller picture right there, I have put up on my Instagram, and Reggie Miller himself actually liked the picture.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
It was a great feeling for myself, indeed.
These are some of the logos you've done?
Logos and like bringing them, instead of like it just being a simple logo, but having like a like kind of like what they would use for like the intro videos to the YouTube or whatever like that. And then this is like just a quick trailer that I made for the Wizards, so yeah.
I love it, man. Great work.
Thank you.
Oh, that's great, man.
Yeah.
Let me bring you back here. Uh-oh. Maybe.
Different Patrick. There we
go. There we go. There we go. Yeah. No, man, that's incredible work there. And what I love to see is that it's not like all the same design or same style. You know what I mean? There was a lot of versatility, so it wasn't just the same thing over and over. And I think as an artist, we're always kind of challenge ourselves to be able to get to that point as well. So
yeah, it's always tough to like, and a lot of people want, like, they're like, oh, I love how you did this, want to do it for me, and like I don't mind doing it, but a lot of times I want to make it different so it's unique into their own way.
Right.
The same thing that goes with my logo stuff that I try to design. Like I don't, when I do my mock-ups for other logos, like I don't go back and like, oh, I kind of made this logo look like this. I think it could work for the same thing, but then again, it's like, that just kind of defeats the purpose of having their own personal brand, their own personal feel to it. It's almost like if you want the same stuff as you saw somewhere else, then you can just go on the free logo generator and they come up with, it's the same stuff there.
Right, for sure. Well, and the other thing too that, I really feel like that is kind of taking away some of that stuff is company or websites like Fiverr, right? Mm-hmm. Because what you're doing is you're basically training people that it's okay to find the lowest quality or the cheapest amount of work, but you're not getting those original maybe ideas. You're getting a cookie cutter version that's something that, it's just basically somebody putting it together. And again, I understand sometimes that there's maybe a need because of low cost. You're trying to start something, but again, being able to go to somebody who's an expert, a true specialist like yourself, somebody who's basically been doing it for a long time, and you're going to get that custom feel. You're going to get, that that TLC that the logo requires, and then also kind of, that allows you to really start talking about where you want to start branding. What does that look like? So I love that aspect in terms of what you do. So let's go back to a couple of questions here that we like to ask on this channel, really, and just kind of more get to know you, because I'm a firm believer that, people want to know who they work with.
Right.
So as a business owner, getting to this point, as an entrepreneur and things like that, what are some of the maybe memorable failures / lessons that have really helped you to develop kind of like this entrepreneurial mindset and this growth mindset?
So, I mean, and I tell this story all the time because it's definitely one of my worst failures I ever did as a graphic designer, which helped me learn now is, I asked, this lady came to me and she wanted, pretty much a whole brand. She's starting up this whole business or whatever, this whole brand. And she wanted flyers, she wanted business cards, she wanted brochures, she wanted this, she wanted that. And me just kind of starting up of what I was trying to do is I was like, awesome, and the only question I asked was like, do you have an idea of what you want? What are you looking at? And she told me, well, you're the artist. I'm just gonna put the ball in your court, just get it done, And then I went out and I did the work instead of showing it to her before like I finished, because she was just like, I trust you, just put the work in, give me the prints and stuff, and then, we'll worry, and then we'll do the cost afterwards. So I did all this work, making the flyers, went to print shops to get the brochures printed, the flyers printed, the business card printed, all this stuff. And I go to meet with her with all this stuff, all these boxes and stuff that she wanted. And she's just like, not really feeling the colors or the logo.
Oh.
I'm gonna have to go somewhere else. So I'm sitting there with all this stuff, like, oh my goodness. And so it helps me now to like now, and I mean, too, and you and Scott know, because like I ask questions on questions on questions on questions. And before I even do any work on the computer, like I send pictures of everything that I'm working on piece by piece by piece, because now it's just like I just don't want to put myself into that. And then, then I'll go put it on the computer, but then I won't still give it that full resolution or whatever to put the work in, just because, again, that takes time to do that. So I just do like another mock-up on the computer so you can see it more, what it kind of looks like as an illustration. And then I will go into if everything's looking good, then I will go put it in there and then just kind of go from there. And then now I usually take, like if I know I'm going to be working with them, usually I take partial payment ahead and then take the final payment at the end. So it's like I know that I'm not just wasting my money anymore.
Sure, got some skin in the game for sure. Yeah, that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
So we got a question actually from Scott here.
Let's do that.
So, and guys, if you have more questions, anything like that, feel free.
In the elevator, and we're forced to listen to one song. What song? Oh man, probably my favorite song of all time, which is by Johnny Gill, and it's called "My My My." I can listen to that song all day and over and repeat constantly, and I'll be cool. I'll just be sitting there just rocking in my little, I don't know, the 5 foot by 5 foot elevator, and just sitting there, them screaming at me like, we'll get you out there soon. I'm like, no, take your time. I'm jamming out to this one.
I love that. So it looks like Steph Ruiz also said that she can relate to that story. And Steph's awesome. Big shout out to Steph and Amplify Events as well. Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, what's crazy to me is that like we can all be in a similar profession. We can all have similar backgrounds and stories, but it's never the same.
Right.
And this is why I love kind of doing this piece here, because it gives me a great opportunity to just really kind of do that deep dive. Oftentimes it's really hard because people haven't had that opportunity, or we're just so busy, so we don't have that time to listen, and then, as you've kind of evolved to where you're at now, right, and gotten the skill levels and all of those things, like, where do you see yourself? Where do you see Hype Designs? Where do you see Patric Massey like over the next 3 to 5 years?
I would like to, I don't want to get it to a point to where like I love being low key. I love Hype Designs being low key, working out of my home. Like I don't, almost like, oh, I want to get, like a storefront and everything like that. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just, like, I'd rather just keep it because I feel like if I do it out of home or if I meet with somebody or talk to somebody, it's just more personal.
Sure.
And I don't want them to feel like they're getting, you know, I wouldn't say outpriced or just bombarded by like a company that's like, storefront or whatever. Like I'd rather feel like more personal to them in that standpoint. 3 to 5 years, just still being able to do what I do. I'm always learning. I feel like in the field that I'm in, programs keep updating, new stuff keeps happening. There's always something that I can learn, always something new that I can try and do. And, I'm always on YouTube searching up stuff. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Let me, watch this and learn this technique and try to implement it in my work. But I want to be able to brand out with my YouTube and be able to have more subscribers and more followers and be able to put out new content and, just get more recognized. I feel like, I put out amazing work that a lot of these other people and all these other companies do, and I'm just not getting noticed. And like I said, maybe I just got to put out more content, more work. But I feel like I can compete with a lot of those guys, and you don't, and not so you don't have to feel like you need to pay so much. Like I don't, and I mean, like my prices are fair, but I just want people to feel good about Hype Designs and just
Sure.
knowing like, hey, like I went to Hype Designs, it was fair price, it was personal, like it's just a one-on-one personal base. Like I don't have to talk to this person just to talk to that person. And that's where I just wanted to go to and, just still be able to, help people out and give them what they love.
I like that, man. And it's funny because like so many people are so eager, right, to maybe have that really big storefront like you talked about, or maybe grow really fast. But I love for you that you're grounded enough to turn around and just say, I want it to still be personal. I still want it to be people feel like that they're getting great value for what they spend, their time, their efforts, and their money on. So I really like that approach, man. And I think that shows that you have like this abundance mindset. And for me, like, I spend a lot of time with people and learning. And again, not everybody has that mentality. A lot of people are just like, I want to grow, 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 grow. So the fact that you kind of already have this idea in mind that you just want to slow and just take that real time it says a lot. So
Yeah, businesses, obviously they don't happen overnight. They don't, some businesses take longer to expand and be, a big business. But, with me, it's, like I said, like I'm a very patient person, very positive. If something doesn't happen, I'm always optimistic about it. And you kind of have to be when you're, a business owner. Like you can't think, oh, well, like this isn't happening for me, so I just got to stop. I got to quit. And it's like, no, just when one door closes, there's always another door that opens up, and it might not be right away. It might not be a month, might not even be a year, but that door is going to open up somewhere down the road. And you just got to stay positive and keep going through it.
absolutely. I agree. I love my personal relationship with my clients. I don't want to outgrow that ever. Absolutely, Steph.
For sure.
And Sherwood Marketing. So we'll reach out to Steph and connect you with Sherwood Marketing and see if they can help. And then Scott basically says lives and videos are a great key. I would agree. It's nice to be able to help keep you on top of mind for what you do. Help showcase maybe some of that. And again, if we can funnel them, direct them back right to the YouTube or wherever it is that they can constantly see that. So Instagram, things like that. So guys, if you haven't already, do yourself a favor, go ahead and drop all the likes. Facebook.com/Hype Designs LLC, Instagram Hype Designs LLC, and then also Patric's personal Instagram, the HWT Hardest 10. So, and again, we dropped the YouTube channel already in there. So, again, guys, it takes a village, it takes a community to really grow, right? It takes very little effort for us to kind of click a few clicks to be able to go in there, but just know that those go a very long way. And so if you could be so gracious to be able to go ahead and drop those likes and follows for Patric. And, maybe you're in this position right now where you're just kind of like, man, I didn't realize that the logo and the branding or a website and all these things, how powerful they can be. Patric is also a great resource to be able to talk to. Maybe you're not in quite position to be able to do those things, but, he can certainly guide you in the right direction. And again, maybe that's something that you didn't ever think of. But for somebody who's built his entire business on Facebook, like myself, the value in those things is really invaluable, especially because we're kind of transitioning to this digital type of world. So, Patric, what are some of the things or some of the advices that you might give for maybe a new entrepreneur, a new business owner, or somebody who's kind of watching this video and it's maybe never looked at some of the stuff that you've looked at before?
My thing is, like I said, just always stay positive. It's things aren't going to happen overnight, and when one good thing happens, doesn't mean like it's going to keep going up from there. Like you're going to have your ups, you're going to have your downs, but you got to stay positive. You got to keep pushing through it. Got to stay optimistic. So that would be one of my main advices about it. Another thing is, just like I said, never stop working. Like you're only as successful as the amount of work that you put in. So if you're like, I'm just gonna do an hour here, or if you're actually running a store and you're like you have your own store and you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna put 5 hours here. Again, like what a business to me is almost even just like basketball. If you're not practicing hard enough, there's always somebody out there that's practicing even harder. And that's what I tell the kids, if I'm doing basketball training, which I do. If anybody's in there has kids that want some basketball training, I can help out with that too. But so that's a side note. But no, it's just the amount of work you put in is how successful I feel you're going to be. There might be moments where you don't have the time to do it, but just never think that there's not enough amount of minutes, enough hours, or whatever in the day to be successful.
I love that, man. Thank you so much for that piece of advice, right? It's like that, what's that saying? Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't do hard work.
That's it.
So, no, I think that's huge, right? Especially for now. Like, man, I grew up where my father was kind of, in that time frame where it was just like, but did it kill you? Right.
Right.
And now we kind of have like a different mentality with raising our kids and things like that, and so to be able to share that message, that like, if you're not getting the results, right, you got to put in something different. You got to try something different, so I love that that's the message that you're sharing right now. What are some of the things that you want to cross off your bucket list, man?
Oh man, well, I mean, a lot of it was. I mean, I've kind of almost already done it, but I've traveled, a couple different countries, and a couple other things maybe just get off my bucket list is I want to be able to drive a supercar. Like I'm 6'9", I can't fit in a Lamborghini or anything like that. That'd be a bucket list for sure. But I'm just not really like, I don't know, like I just live the day by day, like just be blessed and thankful that I wake up in the day. And if I get to have the ability to do anything, like I take it as a blessing. But I mean, what would be knocking off my bucket list? Main thing would be is just to have this Hype Designs, just kind of continue to grow and continue to be successful and just keep getting in more clients.
Absolutely. Well, obviously, I'm probably a little bit more privy than most, and maybe some of the people are watching here already know. But you're going to be becoming a father again upcoming here pretty soon. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And so as a small little gift to you guys here, my company, we're going to go ahead and donate a little bit of money for you guys. So when you guys get a registry, please let us know. We're going to go ahead and contribute to that. Just our way to just kind of say thank you guys for being a great pillar in this community with an incredible coffee shop, with Decadent. But also, man, just like you guys have been such great supporters of just people in general. And so we just want to kind of give back to you guys and from that aspect.
Oh, bless. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And really the last couple of minutes that we have in this segment here, everything that we do is always unscripted. So I love the fact that you're willing to just kind of roll with the punches and all those things here. But, is there anybody, or maybe you haven't gotten a chance to really just take that time to maybe just kind of, anybody you would want to thank or anything that's really kind of maybe pressing into you that you would like to kind of share? This next couple minutes is really just your time.
Well, I definitely would like to thank the queen of my life, the queen of my castle. She definitely has helped me as far as just turning different things around in my life, as far as, helping me understand different things that I never really took the time to focus on, and, get myself out of debt and get my life back on track. And she's definitely been, a helping hand. That, I mean, she's, single mom, strong, passionate person. Just seeing the strength that she had just, reminds me of, my mom as well, for having to raise me and my sister. And, and like I said, like me back then in the day, like, I was a good kid at times, but I was a very hard-headed, very, knuckleheaded type kid. And, I put my mom through so much, and, put her through, the worst times of just seeing her so hurt, the things that I did. Like, I told myself I'll never do that to her ever again. She has also been another one that's always been by my side and very helpful, and always telling me that I can do whatever I can do, if I put my mind to it. So it would definitely be, Brittany, she's like my queen. Like I said, she's the stronghold in my castle. My mom's been there, my dad, just my brother, like just everybody I've come in contact with has just been so helpful and just always helping me out. Like, I can't really, per se put down just one person. I feel like anybody that has a positive impact in my life has, definitely, kept me in the right direction.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, man. And again, thank you for that. And again, Brittany's awesome. Big shout out to her. And dude, I'm glad that I got a chance to kind of meet you through her and everything. Like, just kind of really thankful. I still have yet to try the gelato, so I need to come up there and do that again. I haven't forgotten.
The raspberry sorbet. That's it.
Yes.
That's it.
So, but yeah, it's on. I'll be up there shortly to be able to try that here. But really, lastly, I guess the biggest takeaway, from what we're seeing, really is just kind of the thanks and the thankfulness and the message that you're trying to put out there. And other than obviously we want to get you business and be able to get you more work and stuff like that, but what else can we do as a community here in Colorado Springs to be able to better help and support you guys?
Oh man, I mean, anything, like you said, a like, on like my Instagram, my Facebook, or a like on the Decadent Facebook page. That's, I mean, a little bit goes a long way,
Yes.
and like, just like, even if somebody donates a penny to the store, donates a penny to me, the more the pennies add up, the more money that goes to it. But like me, like I said, to me, I mean, money's great, but you come in this world with nothing, you leave with nothing. I just want to impact and leave a great impression on people and being able to give them what they want. So, for me, it's just, I just want to, if somebody's got like, like, hey, like, I just want to turn my wedding photo into a Star Wars theme, anything like that, whatever. I'm here for you. And like I said, I'm always willing to work anything out. I love talking. I love meeting new people. So even if you just drop in, my, personal message or whatever, just to say hi, give me a positive message. I'm all about that. I always try to, on my, just on my regular Facebook, I always try to put out some type of motivational message, because we all have our dark moments. We all have our days where it feels like the walls are collapsing, around you, and just having that person in your corner that's just there to give you to show you that light through the end of the tunnel. That's what I'm all about.
Absolutely, man. I actually posted up a meme this morning that really just echoes what you just said. It says a lot of things broke my heart, but fixed my vision. So, man, this has been great. Honestly, like I never know what to expect when people come on here, and the stories, they definitely they're an incredible part of our journey. And so I just want to take the time to just really say, man, your journey has been incredible in just the short time that I've gotten a chance to kind of get to know, and I look forward to watching the rest of it play out and being a supporter of it. So if there's anything else that we can do, certainly don't hesitate to reach out. I'll make a few connections for you as well with some people that I think maybe also be beneficial to help you maybe go to that next level as well. And then just again, thank you very much for your time today. And
no, I appreciate you, Patrick. I mean, you're taking the time out your day just to do this, man. I appreciate anything that comes my way, and even if nothing does, I'm still blessed to have this time to spend with you and tell my story and just see where it all goes from here.
Yeah, absolutely. So guys, make sure you go back through the chat, find the link to the YouTube, add Patrick on Instagram, follow his Facebook page, all those things. Again, if you're maybe not in a position to look for a logo, you're still in a position to help with some of those little things, being able to share a post, share his business page on Facebook, all of those things help tremendously. So Patric Massey, thank you again for your time, man. Thankful.
No, thank you.
And guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Let us know again if you're catching this on the live or the replay. If you have any additional questions, feel free to post them up, and Patrick will go ahead and get a response to you here. And again, we will be live again next week, I believe, with Amber Hardy, who's also an incredible lender as well. So thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.
Thank you.